Hello, how is it going? This is Gennaro, your lead instructor, CEO of Koitech Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about virtual private networks brought to you by ACSMI. Let's get started. So VPNs, and we've touched on this before, so I won't really harp on a lot of things, but I definitely will say that when you are wanting to encrypt your transmissions, as in that data in transit, you want to ensure that three pillars of cybersecurity are adhered to. So VPNs, they don't just protect sensitive information from the interception, they also enable remote workers to connect to corporate networks securely, like we've been talking about. You can be at home, you can be in a coffee shop, you can be wherever, and then still access your corporate network. This is key, because that means it frees you up. You can go wherever you want, okay? Now, what's a VPN though? So at its core, a VPN creates an encrypted tunnel, like we spoke on before, between the user and the device on the internet or that private network that you're trying to reach into. So you use encryption, you use tunneling protocols. An example, when you're accessing your organization's intranet, because that's where all the resources are hosted, right? From a hotel room, a VPN ensures all transmitted files and emails remain secure. Different types of VPNs, and we haven't really talked on this, but you have remote access VPNs. This is designed for individual users that are trying to access their private network from an organization, right? That's what you would usually use it for, right? If you're trying to access your corporate resources from outside of the office, if you're not directly connected into it or on Wi-Fi with them, on the site. Then you have your site-to-site VPN. So this is intranet or extranet. So what this means is you can connect multiple networks, such as branch offices of a large company, into one big network. So it can be intranet based as far as having all the resources there available, but also focusing on external organizations or partners that have also or maybe needing some of those resources too. You have client-based VPN, so this requires individual users to install the software or an app, and then being able to tailor that solution to the individual or the small team. And then you have cloud VPNs. You may sometimes see it as VPCs, but this is ideal for businesses using cloud services, right? They can provide at least a secure way to access those cloud apps or those third-party apps as well. And they have a hybrid structure, like hybrid VPNs, where you can kind of have you can combine off-site and on-site infrastructure. So you can have on-prem, and then you can have cloud VPNs to kind of meet the new different business model or infrastructure, whatever you're trying to accomplish there. So the encryption protocols, and we touched on them last time, but OpenVPN, this is a open source VPN that you can utilize. It's the go-to for enterprise VPNs. It's open source, right? It's not necessarily commercial. You have IPsec. This is often used from site-to-site VPNs, right? This is going to provide that authenticity when it comes to data and encryption at that network layer. Think about it, to the OSI model, right? Network layer. And then you have your L2TP or Layer 2 tunneling protocol. This is commonly used in conjunction with IPsec, right? Because you can add on that other layer, that other tunnel in a sense, when we're trying to do secure communication or secure remote access. And then you have secure socket tunneling protocol. Think of secure sockets. Think of TLS, right? That's kind of what we're talking about. Now, this is fully integrated within Windows and is ideal for businesses using shared VPN servers because you can have your own dedicated VPN server as well, too. And then you have WireGuard. This is a modern alternative to one of the more traditional protocols like your L2TP, right? And this is designed for more speed and efficiency because we want to minimize the aspect of, latency and everything like that. Now, some implementation strategies you can go by. You can look at, how can you choose the right protocol, right? What protocol suite are you going to be looking for? It really is going to depend upon, what are your needs, right? What do you need in order to get the job done? What do you need in order to continue working and doing what you have to do? So you can provide some of that user authentication when it comes to the multi-factor authentication, verifying that the users are who they say they are. You can go about expansion when you expand the VPN coverage as that business requirement grows, while still monitoring traffic, because again, we want to make sure that we don't keep our eyes off of that. And some of the common VPN challenges are going to be, while a VPN is versatile, right, they're going to have performance issues, compatibility problems when it comes to the actual tool on that system. Is it going to be compatible? And then the risk of data leakage too, because you can incorrectly implement split tunneling. Like we talked about how you can have that one tunnel going for your private network to the actual resources for that corporate area, that corporate network. And then the other aspect of it is going to, public internet. So there is a risk where you can expose sensitive information if it's not put together correctly. And then you have your cost to investment, right? If you're really trying to scale, right, you want to make sure that you're doing it the right way. You're actually taking into account your planning beforehand, before you're putting something like this into place. So one of our examples are going to be, like we've been talking about, is having secure access for a remote employee. The company, right, it's a multinational corporation, right? It enables thousands of employees, and they're working securely from anywhere in the world. That frees up a lot. You have that ability to do that. Now, the company is going to set a remote access VPN to create this encrypted connection between the employee and the internet, like we've been talking about, right? So employees are going to install that VPN client on their laptop and then add on that level of security with a multi-factor authentication. They're getting that one-time password. And then while you're adding that portion, now the data that's going to be exchanged between the employee device and the internal network, right, that internet, is going to be encrypted. All that data is going to be encrypted, like as is. And then it's going to be sent through a secure tunnel. So you have layers upon layers upon layers of encryption security that's going to make sure that while that connection is going to be encrypted in transit, that you still have the ability to monitor. You still have the ability to get alerted if there's unusual login locations, if that data is trying to be accessed from an unauthorized standpoint, you would know about it. So it's really good to understand, the inner workings of VPNs and how you can go about getting it. You can go open source, you can go through commercial, but it really just depends on your organization or individually what you want to do. It's been great. It's been Gennaro, CEO of Cortex Solutions, and we've been talking about virtual private networks, brought to you by ACSMI. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Thanks.